home. It's like you wonder, you're trying to explain to your husband why you need to do this. He doesn't get it. It's not his fault. God or the universe, whatever you believe in, gave you that vision. It is your decision. It is you that needs to gain the capabilities, you to take the uncomfortable action. Who in here watching that, who's been with us, and those that haven't, I'm glad you got a little bit, who had some breakthroughs this week? Who saw this industry in a different light this week? Who sees greater potential for where the world is going, where the hockey puck is going, than they ever have? And who also had some fear of like, oh my God, I'm excited, but we have to bust those today. Those final buts, we have to get past that fear. We have to be stronger than our fear, because that fear and that story has already cost you too much. And we're not gonna let that happen anymore. You guys ready? You guys ready for today? Let me know if you're all in. You're all in for day 5. I know you're here on a Saturday. There's lots of other things you can be doing, but I'm not sure anything can give you the capabilities we're gonna be doing today. So here's what I thought. I saw a lot of chat saying it. I wanna tie the whole 5 days together. Now, I'm gonna go over the whiteboard and do this, and I'm gonna bring you through like in 20 minutes. I'm gonna bring you the whole 5 days. Now, I have to warn you that my whiteboard drawings are from me. I could get someone to write them prettier, but I like to write them. So they're not gorgeous, but I think they're gonna serve you just fine. You ready for this? Let's go. All right, we started on day 1 talking about the self-education revolution. Now, we know that a third of you came just because someone cool asked you and said, go hang out with a bunch of people, we're gonna own your future. You weren't even sure why you came. I see Aaron shaking your head. Maybe Jenna Kutcher or Natalie or Danielle told you like, okay, I'll show up. And you came and you got exposed to this industry and you're like, holy crap, I see this vehicle. It's true. Everybody when I go to buy something or want to learn, I'm looking for somebody online who's already been there. You see it coming. You know it's heading towards $1 billion a day, according to Forbes. You feel it. The world went from socially distanced to virtually connected, right? Then there's those that know about this industry. Maybe you're a coach on your way. Maybe you started, you're trying to get some followers, you're trying to get your influence creds going, and you're trying to turn that and monetize it, or maybe even tried and failed, right? That's the other third. It's like a third, a third, a third. And then you're saying, wow, I've been missing these points. Rachel Miller blew my mind. Dean about selling. Oh my God, I'll never feel the same about selling again. It's service. And you guys say, okay, I was just doing it wrong. It's like practicing a golf swing the wrong way. You could practice it all day, 7 hours a day. But if your golf swing is wrong, all you're doing is anchoring in how to do it wrong. And then it tells your subconscious, see, this doesn't work. It's like, no, you just need a coach to come over and say, hey, could you lower your one hand, drop your shoulder, and stop moving your back leg? It's like, oh, okay. And then I have the last third, those of you in the game. You're already doing coaching. You're already selling products. You're coming to model what we do smart. You're in the right place at the right time. So this has been such a fun journey serving all three, but we talked about the self-education revolution. And we narrowed it down so you really grasped it as talking about what do we do in life, right? We're on this journey. We talked about this day 1, and all of a sudden at this point, a mess happens. You didn't see the company going out of business. You didn't know you were going to end the relationship. You didn't know you'd be diagnosed with this thing, or that you'd stop loving yourself, or that you were having anxiety and you needed to find a way through that, or a million other things. Your child was born with eczema. Your dog's right rear hip went out and you loved this little guy so much you found a way to cure it. I don't know what the mess was, but you went on this spiral down for a little bit, and during that you're trying to figure out how to solve that mess. I say this a lot, but sometimes that mess really goes down way down here, right? But then something else, maybe it wasn't a mess. Maybe you started a new business, started a new career, got a new job, started a new relationship, started eating vegan, started eating keto style, right? And more protein, whatever it was, you started doing something. You had to learn. You didn't know how to be vegan at first. You didn't know how to meditate at first. You didn't know how to figure out that thing first. Or maybe you had to take uncomfortable action. You know, some days we make decisions because we've had enough. Do you ever get to a point where you go, today's the day? You thought about making a change for a long time, but you had that day, it's just a line in the sand, and like, I gotta face it and I gotta move. Sometimes you have no choice. You get the business has ended, the relationship's over, and you had no choice, right? So what do we have to do in that case? We have to take that uncomfortable action. And as the start, that's kind of scary. But whether this is 3 months, 3 years, this learning process or uncomfortable action, or this mess, eventually our journey gets us over here. And then we get to have life. Our mess, we found a solution to that mess. Our learning, our experience, our life experience, we turn that into a skill that we have. That uncomfortable action that seems so scary at first is second nature to you now. You're living it every day and it's become mastery in your life. So in the self-education revolution, why is this so appealing? Why is this growing so much? Is because what the world is realizing is that they want a bridge. And you're that bridge. You were once here. Now you're over here. You're either going to let somebody go through this entire valley, or you supply the bridge. This is your course, your workshop, your Zoom call, your live training on Mastermind, whether it's 2 hours, 5 hours, or the training that lets you do it at home, right? This is what we do. And remember, when people say, I'm not sure, I have something to share, well, that's the next part. We'll get to the dot, right? But I want to remind you what you said, and maybe you could share it again. Remember what you said when I said if you had a week to prepare, 1 week to prepare on one topic, maybe career, maybe on relationships, maybe on self-love, maybe on health, maybe on balance, maybe on spirituality. You had a whole week to prepare on this one topic, and then you had an hour to spend with your 20-year-old self to share that. What would that be worth, right? Think about that and think how valuable that would be. I was joking. I said, if your 20-year-old self tried to walk away halfway through, you would tackle them, duct tape them to a chair and be like, you're sitting and you're listening. Relationship gets screwed up around 28. I'm telling you, brother, you don't know what you're doing yet. I'm showing you. Or don't go work for that job because you think it makes your parents happy or just because you got the degree. I know you got the degree, but you have all the resources you need inside of you. You don't need them from the outside. You can be resourceful. Or take better care of your body. When you get 50, things start going sideways. Start doing it now, right? How much value is that? But guess what? There are so many people starting right here on day one, looking over that edge going, oh man, that's a tough valley. And you get the opportunity to say, hey, I've been there in that particular niche. I can give you the bridge. Does that make sense, everybody? We are bridge builders. That is where the world is going. This is where the puck is going. That's why I truly believe within 3 years, self-education is going to be the place. It's going to be as popular as saying I want to be an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer. What do they say? 75% of all kids right now want to be in this industry. So wouldn't it cool to be the person to help them get there in the right way? Okay, so that's the first part, the self-education revolution. My fancy paper, I didn't want to show you everything at once. Right? So after that, we talked about the secret of the dot. I love naming stuff that's not too complicated, right? Yes, we could call this a niche or a micro niche, but isn't it cooler just to say, what's my dot, right? And we talked about what overwhelms us once we understand this industry. What usually overwhelms us is thinking about, what am I going to teach? And if you were here on day 2, we really boiled it down and used the examples of you're not teaching 7 billion people, right? You're not teaching 7 billion people. You're narrowing it down. We talked to, I saw her here day 1. I don't see her now. We talked about Cyrene, right? She's helping women through menopause in a natural way so it doesn't, the sweats don't drive you crazy and you don't feel mentally crazy and you don't gain all the weight and you do it in a healthy way. Right? When she first started, she was a little freaked out. I had a chance to talk with her. It was amazing in like a hot seat. And I learned at first she was scared to death, but when she realized, oh, I'm not training everybody. I'm not just training women. I'm not just training women that are going through menopause. I'm training women that are going through menopause that want to do it in a natural way. She could talk to them all day long, right? When we talked about Jamie, who helped my little boy, Luca, with his eczema because she built a course. She was freaked out. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. But she cured her little boy through a year being a reporter, basically, she learned all the knowledge from other people. It wasn't hers. She didn't go to medical school. She just tried this, and she tried this herb and this food and this natural and this skin ointment and this way to clear, help the gut and these probiotics. Boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden, the magic ingredient came together, and she had a natural way to help kids with eczema. She was freaked out at first, but it wasn't 7 billion people. It wasn't just parents. It wasn't just parents with kids with eczema. It was parents with kids with eczema that wanted to heal it in a natural way. Not everybody wants to do that, but if you do, that's her dot, right? I just went this morning, I went on our platform that you guys have the opportunity, mastermind.com, and grabbed some people who are selling. And I told my team, grab me a few, pull this up for a second, right? Look at these. This is Boredom Buster. Boredom Buster. It's selling courses, right? I mean, this one, I love this. Create health and happiness in retirement. Doesn't she just look awesome, just sharing like, I'm having a blast in retirement. That's not for me. I'm not retiring. I don't think I'll ever retire, right? That's not for me, but someone who's retired, who's a little bored, wants to figure something out, see someone who's already done it, that little dot, that's why she's selling courses, right? Here's one, the ultimate script analysis workshop for the actor. That's not something for me. I'm not an actor, don't want to be. But all the way down, her dot, she's selling a course on that, right? Plant basics, eat your way to your best you. Plant-based basics, right? Now that's something I might look into because I've been thinking about going plant-based, but I always freak out because I feel like I need protein. It makes me shaky. I'm just saying, so I'm going to have to look up Jay and see how that works. You know what I mean? So look at this one, Jack Atkinson. The Art 101, Fundamentals of Art. I mean, how cool, you can take that down, Mike. How cool is that? That we get to take this life experience, this mess, this learning experience, this uncomfortable action, a passion that you've been obsessed over. Like I told you, Dijon, one of our Del-Jane, one of our amazing clients, right? She was into what she called the foo-foo spiritual world with crystals and alignment and meditation and spirituality. All she did is go to classes for 10 years. She wanted to teach on that. She thought people were going to laugh at her when she went down to her dot. Now she's serving people at the highest level, right? Isn't it fun seeing person after person in all these different niches? We've identified already 4,700 different niches that our students are going after. And the smaller the dot, this is the most important thing, guys. You really got to see this. The most important thing to realize is you're going to have this tendency to want to go wide and just bring everybody in. But the world is so big and we are so connected that the smaller you go with your dot, right? There's a girl selling out workshop that's called Painting with Wolves. You go take a painting class and wolves sit next to you. And it's like the calming of painting a wolf or petting a wolf while you're painting. Crazy. She sold out 3 workshops. The world is big enough. Erin says she's going to go. Like, I get it, right? It's not for me, but maybe Lori Ann's ready to go paint with wolves. This is what's cool about this. And I'll continue to say this. It's not some magical money machine. You just pop something up and the money just rolls in for doing nothing. There's plenty of people advertising for that on Facebook. I see them every day. If you're ready to do something real, to take a little bit of uncomfortable action, but you don't have to do it alone. You get the chance to learn the capabilities from Tony and I. They've been doing this for 60 plus years. And here's the cool part. This isn't something we used to do. We've obsessed to stay ahead of the curve. You might happen to be a part of the biggest online training ever. We are obsessively learning what's working right now, right? So once you discover your dot, and of course, we shared this in 20, 30 minutes. Those of you in Project Next or decide to get in Project Next, there's a whole process Tony and I discovered. I promise you by the time you're done with Module 2, you're gonna know exactly what you're gonna teach. But then you reverse engineer it, right? People say, who would I teach it to? You reverse engineer it and you just look for people who want that dot, right? You're not looking for people that are just parents or just have kids with eczema. Jamie knows that she's looking for parents with kids with eczema that want to heal it naturally. So that's all she's looking for. That's the conversation. That's the communication. Make sense? All right. This is my fancy drawing now. This is where it gets, look at that. Ooh. You know, I could have done a little cleaner, but this is me. This is how I like to teach. I'm not a big slide guy, right? So once you have that dot, then you go build your course or your workshop or your group coaching session or a mastermind or a weekend 3-hour event, whatever you want to call it, you go build that on mastermind.com, or you could do it on Zoom. But think about yesterday. Tell me what wasn't cool yesterday when Maris was talking. Those of you that are here, if you weren't, yesterday, an awesome lady, Maris, came on and she told us about, she went through a bad breakup, she had stress and anxiety, didn't want to be on meds, finally had meditation, got her out of it. And she created this process to meditate. And she was telling us this process and she shared some of the names. And I said, what's one thing? And she talked about a morning routine. And what's another thing? Being anchored in your heart. And what's another thing? Another thing. We talked for about 15 minutes. 16 minutes after we started talking to her, I don't know if you remember, we pulled up a website done on mastermind.com ready for her to go. It could be attached to your merchant account, attached to your bank account to collect money, to serve the world. And if you don't have the course done in Mastermind, what you could do is in 3 weeks from now, Maris could go live teaching meditation. She can record it, and when she's done, hit a button, and it becomes her course. How cool is that, Michelle? I see you shaking your head up and down, right? Think about that. So once you understand the industry, once you understand that we build bridges, once you go and narrow down the dot, identify who wants the dot, then you go build what you're going to offer, right? And again, maybe you shoot a course on your phone. That's what Mindy did when she came to photography. She shot her entire thing at her house with a little tripod, with a light sitting next to her face. She's one of the top sellers on mastermind.com. Like, how cool is that? Like, maybe this is more cool to me because I wasn't born in this technology, with this technology. When I started in this industry, I spent $200,000 for a crazy infomercial. I had to put product in the store. I had to hire a call center. I had a million things to do before I sold one product. Before I sold one product, I was $200,000 in. Thank God it started to sell. That's not where the world is. In 15 minutes, we were up and running. So that's why I'm so excited. So the next step is you go build this, or you set a date for when you're going to train, right? But then you're thinking, how do I get people there? Ooh, well, maybe that's social media, you using it rather than it using you. Did Rachel Miller just like explode your brain? You know the little emoji on your phone with the brain just coming straight up, right? Lisa, I see you shaking your head, and Denise, did that just blow your mind on how she got one person, 5 people, 100 people, and 100 led to 1 million. She never paid $1 in advertising. I'm not saying that you'll do that. She's dedicated, she works hard, but now she has a process where she said, what'd she say, 1 song a day. 1 song a day on social media. And that's how she runs her multiple companies, because she got momentum. Because this wasn't, so I said, you could use Rachel Miller, that's RM, the Rachel Miller Facebook strategy to build friends, build a following, and then do what? Drive them to what you've got going on mastermind.com, right? And Rachel Miller actually teaches that strategy in depth. She was here for 15 minutes. She does it in about 70 minutes in the course. Then there's Instagram and other social media. There's absolute processes to engage and find the people who want your dot, build a relationship, and drive them here. We have another Rachel who teaches that in the course because she's an absolute expert on social media and Instagram. I watched her teach. She blew my mind. I flew her into the studio here. She teaches that segment, right? Then you have things like, there's multiple. I could draw 100 ways with arrows, but just these 3 to get started. You have your own network, deeper than you think, and direct messages. We have a whole strategy on how to direct message people, build a relationship, and then what? Hey, you want to help your dog's hip? You want to eat vegan? You want to find self-love again, get in the relationship, travel better, do art? You should go check out what I built on mastermind.com. Is this starting to make sense, guys? I'm not trying to, again, I am not laying out the magical money machine. I'm laying out 60 years in the making that technology has finally caught up with the world who wants it. This is the perfect storm. That's why this is a wave. That's why if we've been working hard to show you, expose this, and enroll you, it's because we know this is the time, right? The wave, as a surfer, where do you want to be? You want to be in front of the wave. It pushes you all the way in. Not wait till the wave is 2 seconds past you and then try to catch it. You never can, right? So this is why we spend so much time. So once you build it, and then you have the opportunity to drive people through it using social media. And then how cool is it? I got to ask, only because it's my favorite day. Whose favorite day up until today was the day we talked about sales, that selling is service? Who had the biggest breakthroughs that day, I should say, right? And I know, listen, Trent rocked every speaker rocked my world. But I just watched the chat blow up when you can shift that you're not hawking a product, you're not pushing something in, you're doing them a disservice. I talked about that amazing woman who stood up and helped moms in trimester 4. She felt really icky about sales, and I said, she loved what she did. She was amazing at what she did, and when she realized that if she didn't market and sell, that she was letting moms suffer in silence, that she wasn't serving them, she wasn't giving them what she discovered. If Jamie would have not shared what she learned about eczema, my son wouldn't have benefited. If the guy that found how to help hips of dogs or retire better or eat better or sing better or play music better or be better at art, if all of those people didn't decide to take uncomfortable action and serve, we can't help the people that want it. And when you shift that in your mind, it's never the same again. Selling never is the same. Selling something bad, selling gambling to someone with a gambling problem, cigarettes to kids, alcohol to someone with an alcohol problem, horrible, horrible. Selling something that serves, that allows people to go faster, that allows them to bridge the gap. You could either let them suffer or you could bridge the gap. When you do that, you realize selling is truly service. And I really want you, that's the biggest breakthrough. That's the thing that'll change forever, because if we get you excited about the industry, if we help you get your dot, if you reverse engineer the dot, if you know how to build it in 15, 20 minutes or however long to make it look beautiful, if you know how to find your people, when you add in the fact that selling is no longer selling, it's serving, that's when you have something real. That's when the brand new person launches. That's when those of you in the game starts to scale. You come down here with your course, your workshop, your mastermind, you do it live, you can record it. But then, the last piece that we busted yesterday. Who loved yesterday when we busted how to teach it with confidence? The story, teach, action model, right? It's like we all love to tell stories on how we figured it out. Remember I said if I'm telling a story, if I'm going to teach you how to do your first real estate deal, I'm going to tell you the story about my first real estate deal. Just the scene in my life. If I'm going to tell you how I went through a divorce 5 years ago and put our kids centered, and it was a child-centered divorce, and they're thriving and amazing, and it was the best. I'm not an advocate of divorce, but they're amazing now because we focused on them. I would tell you the story on how that worked. If I was teaching you cars, I would tell you how I did my first car deal. I would tell you that scene of my life. We all have those scenes that set us up and show people why we're the expert, why we understand, how we failed, how we started here, went here, and we're back over here. That's what the story is. And then all of a sudden, you teach several things that you learned through this journey. You learned something here and here and here and here. Here's the 4 things I learned on that journey to eat plant-based and still feel strong. And then we give them an action step, a tool, a movement. You do something, right? Every day in this challenge, we got you to do something. That's the framework that can allow you to teach something in 5 minutes, 5 hours, or 3 days. It's an accordion. It's the story, teach, tool. And then when you get to do all this, we get to impact people's lives. And we get to create success for ourselves. Does this make sense? This is the journey of self-education. This is what we did. If you could see that whole board, this is what we did over 5 days. And in 5 days, you can come back over here. In 5 days, we did the best we absolutely can to expose you. But it's why we built Project Next. It's because we got to give you a glimpse. I hope we motivated you. I hope we inspired you. But if you're truly going to transform, that's why we work so hard. And again, over the last 5 days, I hope you've had breakthroughs. I hope you busted beliefs. But I also know what it's like when you're almost going to bust that belief and you're right on the edge. You're like, I'm in, but I've done things before. I'm in, but my husband or wife's going to think I'm crazy. We have to bust through that fear. We have to. That's why we're all giving you the opportunity. That's why we pulled back the curtain. Why do you think so many people came and shared their heart and soul? Because they once were exactly where you are now, wanting it, not sure, scared, and then something finally they just said, I'm going for it. right? We have to know that our next level lives on the other side of that hesitation, that self-doubt. And it's also why we made it so affordable, because this is a time in history when the world does need us. This is a time in history where the world needs the best version of you. This is a time when the carpet gets pulled out, when a COVID comes, that we are in control. We own our time, we own our decisions, and we own our future. That's why we called it the Own Your Future Challenge, because we want to show people this amazing industry. And if you're dabbling, it's time to go all in. And if you're doing good, it's time to go to a whole nother level. This is where we get to help impact and change the world. I mean, because if you think about this, I'll go back over to the board for a second. If you think about this, right? If you think about this journey and Project Next, this is our challenge, our 5-day, right? And damn, it feels good. This is amazing. I see it. I got my dot for the first time in my life. Oh, I could do sales. I just sell through my heart. I could do this. Oh my God, that dude, Tanner, 15 minutes, I could do that. Especially because it's made for me. I'm 52 and I hate technology, so I promise you we made it easy, right? Like, I could do that, and then all of a sudden, but man, I don't know who's gonna listen to me. That's why we built Module 1. Module 1, if Tony doesn't bust imposter syndrome in Module 1, please call us and you can have a full refund of the course. Module 1 is insane, right? But think about that. If Tony busts that belief like no one else can, then you start thinking, okay, I don't feel like an imposter, but I don't know if I can find my dot. Boom, you're in Module 2. We tell you exactly through we shared as much as we could in a couple hours a day, but we'll give you a methodical process where you will discover what it is you should be sharing and exactly who to share it to and what tools you should be providing. Then you think, well, I don't know if I could sell it. I think we already busted that, but wait till you get, it's about 2.5 hours front to center from start to finish of me teaching my skills in marketing. Here's what's really cool. I kind of been doing this for 25 years. I've already been the marketing guy behind the largest product launch in history, the largest challenge in history, the largest live virtual event in history. I kind of get where the world is and where it's going and how to impact lives. My previous book sold almost 1 million copies online. I kind of get it, and I'm not Tony Robbins, right? I know how to elegantly and ethically serve people at the highest level, deliver them value, they refer their friends, and things keep growing. So if you're going, I don't know if I can sell, that's what Module 4 is. If I don't know how to find people, that's what Module 5 is. Rachel Miller will tell you, right? So here's the crazy part. As you go on, if you think, well, I don't know if I should do a course, maybe I should do a workshop, what could I do live? That's what Module 6 is. We teach you how to do a course or a workshop or a mastermind or a group coaching call or build a community, right? The things that you think are holding you back are actually the things in your head because they're all in Project Next. And here's the cool part. This is the cool part. Is you're going to be in the business, on my sloppy writing here, you're going to be in the business of building bridges for other people. Is that true? We're bridge builders? Well, Tony and I built the ultimate bridge, Project Next, so you can learn how to be in this business, how to teach it, how to get people. Learn how to be the bridge builder by the people who helped invent the bridge. That's what Project Next is. We've had so many amazing questions. We're going to do more Q&A later. I just don't want anybody to leave here confused. The reason I wanted to do this is because I wanted you to get these questions answered. I know logical buyers, you got lots of questions. Let's get them answered so you don't leave the scene of this feeling, this energy, this state of mind without taking the action that gets you to move forward. Because remember, let's pull this up in a second here. Not yet, Mike. Because remember this, you're here for a reason, right? Let's just say it like it is. You're here for a reason. There's a million other things. It's a Saturday. There's lots of other things you could be doing. I see it, Eamon flexing, right? There's lots of things you could be doing on a Saturday. But there's a place you want to go. And I don't know if that's being more control of your time, of not relying on someone else, or you know you were called to serve, right? Russell said that yesterday, and he means that. You know you were called to serve. Or maybe you want to help other people, but you need to monetize it the same way, at the same time. Maybe you just want to be total badass in this industry. Some of you I saw yesterday within 3 years, because the Boss Babe girls, who are amazing, said it took them 3 years and they're here. I saw so many people say, Dean, reserve me a spot. I'll be on that stage with you guys in 3 years. I don't know what your goals are, but you should know where they are. Right this very moment. If it was a year from now and it was the best year of your life, what does that look like? Don't just focus on what could go wrong. Don't look at what you think. It's like, no, it's a year from now. It's the best year of my life. What is that? And when we think about that, when we focus on that, that's what moves us forward, right? If you know where you want to go, then you need to know why, right? I talked about that a lot, but we must be in our hearts. You're not here just to make money. I've interviewed thousands of people. You're not just here to make money. All of you have a deeper why. Some of you want to retire your husband or retire your spouse or stop working so hard. Some of you just want to have the freedom to make your own decisions when you want to make it. Some of you want to give it all away and help charities and causes. Some of you want to help family members who are in different countries. Maybe retire your parents. For me, my why is I never wanted to go backwards. I hated being broke as a kid and watching my parents work so hard. I want my kids to have choices. And I like being in control of my time, making the decisions. Every day, except for now, these 5 days, every day of my life, I pick up my kids from school. About 98% of the time, 3 o'clock, I'm outside there waving at my kids. It's getting a little awkward because she's 14, but I'm trying it. But every day, I'm owning my time. I wear a great t-shirt, every day. I got about 70 of these. Okay? Because I want to be in control of my decisions, what I do, how I dress, where I live, how to raise my kids. That might not be yours, but that's mine. And I will fight for it. I will chew through a brick wall. Nothing will stop me. My why is so strong. That's why I'm here. It's why I was up till midnight last night, up at 4 o'clock, because one of my whys is serving others, giving back to the world. And when you're partners with Tony Robbins, believe me, it gets contagious. We're here to serve. We are all in on this for the next 20 years of helping this industry and helping people see there's a better path. That's why if people say, well, how do you have so much energy, so much enthusiasm? Can't you retire? Yeah, and do what? And do what? I know my why and I fight for it every day. So if you know where you want to go and you know in your heart right now why you want it, the only thing left is how are you going to get there? What's the vehicle? What's the bridge? What fills the gaps? I'm a little shy. I don't know how to sell. I'm not good with technology. I don't know my dot. That's why we built the bridge. That's why we built the bridge, because it fills the gap. It fills the void. It gives you the how to go from where you are to where you want to go so you can get to your why. So what I'd love to do here is go through this real quick. Mike, pull this slide up for me. And I want you to remember these 4 things, not only for this, but for you. Remember 4 things. Immersion. We must go all in. Get this course and devour it. Schedule the time. If it takes you a weekend or it takes you 6 days or a month, doesn't matter. Go at your pace, but schedule it and immerse yourself. The second part is the repetition. You don't have to do it alone, right? Stay in it every week. You can learn a language, but if you don't speak it, I'm guilty of that big time. We need the repetition. We need someone to keep us accountable. Then we need the implementation. And that's what mastermind.com is. We need to make it real. You've already bought courses in the past. You got excited, nothing happened. You forgot to implement. You forgot to take the action and put it out there. And lastly, we need the mastery, right? You need to anchor it in and make this real, take it to the next level. So let's go through Project Next really quick. It's not all the slides, it's just a few, because this is truly a challenge-only offer with all the incredible bonuses. And I just don't want anybody to miss out, especially we have about 25% of the people are new today. Join us for the first time. I want you to see this. So the first part of Project Next is the digital product system. I won't go, basically, it's 6 modules that do what this whiteboard says, but deeper, stronger, right? Where you get the pieces, where you understand the industry. We bust the beliefs. We teach you how to create your dot, your niche. We give you the tools. And when you have that unstoppable mindset, you'll learn how to build your site, how to find the right people, how to teach through the Story Teach tool model. All the things that we kind of were at the tip of the iceberg, this is the whole iceberg that's underneath. That's what the digital product system is built for today's shifting world. By the time you're done with Module 6, if you're excited right now, if you trusted us right now, trust me, at the end of this module, at the end of this course, you will absolutely have everything you need to start or scale in this industry. And what's cool about it, it's really 2 courses in one, because it's really the main hub is built for everybody new or just dabbling from start to finish. By the end, 45 days, you're in this business, right? But if you're already in this industry, I promise you, Lewis Howes and Jenna Kutcher and Russell Brunson, all of them are using all the higher level stuff, and we built that all as bonuses. I promise you, for the sales training alone, if you're in this game, it's worth 10 times this just to buy the section on selling. You will use that for the rest of your life. I believe it's one of the best processes to sell that's ever existed because it's heart-centered. It's not a cheesy sales process, right? So that's what you'll feel at the end of the digital product system. Then you don't have to go at it alone. And here's the cool part. If you love this energy, who's loving the energy today in this 5 days? Those of you in Project Next and those that get enrolled today, we start our first class 1 week from today. 1 week from today, we'll be back here in this room together, the first training. You want to keep this energy? And what my team just told me last night is that the live event, we're going to talk about that next, is 12 weeks away. So we decided last night, we're saying 8 weeks. We're going to do every week from now until the World Summit. So you will be with us once a week where we answer your questions, hold your hands. And guess what our goal is? Our goal is during those 8 weeks, not only to bust your myths, not only to overcome obstacles and get you going, we're going to get you to get your site built. Some of the trainings are going to help you. Tanner will actually be training some of them so you get your site up. You got butterflies yet? You got butterflies yet? Yeah, I see you, Lorraine. This is where it becomes real. This is where it becomes real. By the time you go to the World Summit, you're going to know this, feel it, and have your site up. Whether that's live or a course you filled in your kitchen on your phone, we're going to walk you through that uncomfortable action. No more being left behind. No more talking about this. No more dabble it. It's time to make it real. That's why you get free access to mastermind.com. And then, well, there's so many people on mastermind.com. My team just put like skincare boot camp, photography, quality traffic from LinkedIn. I mean, it just goes on and on. These are all people who've sold. Dream body in 90 days, 7-second resume blueprint. They just go on and on. But after you have the immersion, we work together for 12 weeks now. We get the course built. You get mastermind.com. You get up. Then just think, in 12 weeks from right now, 12 weeks from right now, we are at the 3-day Mastermind World Summit. We did about 2 hours a day. That's going to be about 8 to 10 hours a day of full immersion with some of the great speakers you saw and some other new ones where we go deep. That's where you'll have your site up, you'll have the confidence, you'll know your dot, and that's where we make this mastery. You guys in for this? You guys feeling this, what we put together? Can you tell why I'm excited? Can you see why selling is service when you work a year to put something together? And then when we decide to do that, Jenna Kutcher says, oh, let me offer unleashing your creativity. The girls will love that. Guys will love it too, but the girls will love that. Let me show them how to be confident on Instagram and social media and how to make it look pretty. It's a course she sells. She's like, let me throw that in, which started a runaway train. And here's the cool part. I'm not going to do the big drop down, but I really want you to do the math. This truly is an $8,000 course. At $5,000, it's an absolute steal. At $2,000, the price we were going to offer this at, literally up until 4 weeks ago, it would have been the best bargain on the internet, hands down. But this is an unprecedented time in history. This is a crazy time, and the world needs all of us, and we all need to do whatever it is we need to do to step up, to not be left behind, to not play small. And literally 4 weeks ago, we said, let's just cut it in half. Let's give the whole world the discount. And you're going to get the entire course, all the bonuses today for $997. You even have a 4-pay option. But I promise you this price and all these bonuses is truly for the challenge offer only. But then to make it even crazier, Jamie Kern-Lima starts it, and it starts this train. Of course, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. I got to tell you, unconditional, no questions asked. So everybody know that. But then you get Russell Brunson to say, hey, I taught the reporter method in case somebody doesn't feel like an expert. I'll add that. Cool. What else can we add? Jamie Kern-Lima. We're going to do a whole live training on busting imposter syndrome. And guess what that did? The girls from yesterday saw them do it, and then Rachel Miller's like, I want to add something for this amazing group. I'll show you how to do Facebook automatically because I got 6 kids. Let me show, who wants to learn what Rachel Miller figured out with 6 kids in Facebook? So she throws that in. And then Danielle and Natalie like, well, they can't stop that. I'm going to show them how to insider secrets to selling your course. They didn't like selling when they first started, so they created a process on how to sell without selling. They threw that in. And was Glow just amazing yesterday, guys? Can we give it up for Glow? Glow is incredible. She wasn't going to let them outdo her. So how to build your brand shortcut. Guys, this is what we thought was amazing, they help take to a whole nother level. So here's the cool part. Here's what we're gonna do right now. You have the opportunity to go to getprojectnext.com.